Rob Grimes again with HOStechTV, and I came upon these two gentlemen walking along at HITEC here, people I've known for a long time, John Burns and Bob Bennett, and both actually are HFTP Hall of Fame award winners in the past, so who better to talk to about HITEC and some things going on in the hospitality industry on the technology side than these two. So Bob was just saying to me, you're saying to me, what are you doing right now?
Well, I am now a partner with Cindy Estes Green in a new company called Kalibri Labs, and we're focused on distribution and channel management, focusing particularly on the cost side and trying to make and help properties become more efficient and profitable.
But you're also working with the associations. You do a lot of research work, right?
Yeah, Cindy particularly has done a lot of research on, again, channel management and the cost of distribution and how that's rising and how the hoteliers can help really get their hands around the costs of as that changes.
Great. And John, you want to just introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, I've been kicking around for 20 plus years as a consultant. I work with hotel brands, trying to understand distribution, trying to understand their own central reservations, how to tie that into GDS, into brand.com, and all that's happening. And it's fascinating. It changes about once a week. Something new pops up. So it's a very kinetic, very interesting practice.
Now, over the last couple of years, with the really the industry down and the economy down, have you seen a pickup now, or has it stayed steady all along?
From a consulting point of view, it dipped for a while. At this point, there's so much enthusiasm and such a sense of urgency that the phone keeps ringing. There are a lot of people wanting to do a lot of things, feeling there's a real need to, and the time is right.
So coming into HITEC this year, you're feeling pretty good about things here at HITEC?
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think the major trends are that you're seeing here that people are really looking for?
Well, I think, if you're looking at technology overall, there's still a great deal of focus on something like HSIA, which we've been talking about for years, but it changes, the requirements changes, the bandwidth requirements, the control of that, who pays for it. It's like a never-ending question. And there's a lot of new solutions that weren't here last year.
Is that because of the mobility side of this and guest connectivity beyond just, I assume you're talking about more than just the hotel room?
Well, but even in the hotel room, as you undoubtedly know, they now quite often can have 3 or 4 devices from a single guest. So you can have a 100-room hotel and you can find that you have 150 devices connected.
And then it's a bandwidth issue as well.
It's a bandwidth as well as, management. So that I know is a big issue, and then there's an awful lot of new things in the whole world of video that constantly changes, and so there's some interesting things to look at.
Much of that also delivered by the HSIA side.
That's the whole thing. I mean, now does your
piece.
Video signal have to share the bandwidth with all of your guest requirements?
Mm-hmm. And John, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of emphasis on mobile devices. People trying to put presentation information in the hands of guests and employees. I'm seeing a lot of interest in improved booking engines for websites. I'm seeing a lot of interest in content management system and a lot of interest in guest loyalty programs, CRM.
And when you think about that, the content management piece really flows all the way through from the website to digital signage to all kinds of different content that people are looking for the single way to put it out.
It certainly should.
And including into the rooms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as you think about some of the connectivity, well, you're talking about mobility and mobile devices. Here's something that I noticed here, and I'm sort of wondering if you've seen this as well. So I went to the NRA show. Mm-hmm. Now, the NRA, National Restaurant Association, of course, right? I wasn't doing the other NRA, the food NRA. Okay. So I went to the NRA show, and mobility was really the thing. But we're really talking about tablets, we're really talking about smartphone connection, connectivity. A lot of vendors who are really just creating apps within that. Now, I've walked around here a little bit, and while I see a lot of the booths that are here showing mobility, I don't see a lot of mobility-only new vendors. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing people get into this industry that way, or are you seeing the people who are already in it taking it to the next level?
I think a lot of it is people with existing systems trying to have a mobile portal. There are some people out looking to build new applications, putting an application platform. I'm not sure whether that has legs or not, but we've got a few of those. But I agree with you that in many cases, it's people with something already and saying, how can we make it more accessible?
Great. Bob?
I believe that there's also some vendors who all they offer is mobile, and they may have come from other industries, and they're now bringing that expertise to the hospitality industry and say, here's what we can do for you in the mobile world. But of course, a lot of that, they still have to get connected to a lot of the core and back-end systems.
Right.
So they have, while they may have great technology capabilities in developing the mobile, they still need the back-end connection. So that's their challenge.
And it's interesting that you brought that up, because we had a conversation, I'm sure we'll have a further conversation with him, but HTNG is taking a look, obviously, at mobility.
Yep.
But for the first time in many years, and I think, did you both have something to do with the early days of HTNG, right?
Yep.
So when I was having this conversation, what was said to me was the time may be coming to start looking at other industries, because mobility and payments and things are coming across, from food service and retail and hospitality, which is conversation I haven't had before. It was always about strictly the hospitality side.
Right.
We tend to be very territorial and believe that the solutions for hospitality are unique to us, and that's not true. There are a lot of other areas that are more progressive, and a lot of other geographic areas more progressive and mobile. We need to soak up some of those ideas, and then, as you say, not only take those, but make sure that we've got the connectivity, the integration with people outside of hospitality. It'll help us in the end.
Okay, let me wrap up with one question for both of you. We're all in the technology business. We get excited about technology. So, putting aside the technology that's used here in the industry, in the next 12 months between now and next HITEC, next June, what's the single technology that you're going to be looking for yourself?
Oh, well, I thought you were taking that first, John.
No, you Bob.
For myself, I think I'm just using more and more of my tablet. I'm moving away from my laptop. I'm doing more of my tablet. And so I'm not necessarily thinking that it's a new technology, but more a way of using differently the technology that I have, all these devices, and which are the ones that are becoming more of my preference versus the older ones.
Are you going to get rid of your laptop?
Not at this point. Not at this point, but I can certainly use it and carry it less.
Right, okay. John?
And very similarly, I have moved away from carrying a laptop. I have my iPad and I use it. And it's really made me think a lot more about usability, about within hospitality and just generally, being able to look at something and intuitively understand how to use it. That's a real challenge, and it's a delight when you find areas with high usability.
Great. Well, thank you very much for spending some time speaking with us, and we'll look forward to hearing what happens over the next 12 months. So we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Our pleasure.